Great to have you with us. And in our first story, the Minister for Special Development and Initiatives, Madam Mavis Hawakumsin, has admitted there are challenges with the execution of government's flagship One Village, One Dam project. Some members in beneficiary communities have raised concerns about the quality of dams being constructed, questioning, among other things, its structural integrity and the capacity of the dams to meet the needs of the people. But addressing journalists after a tour of some sites in the 5 regions of the north, the Minister, Madam Kumsin, assured the issues will be resolved before completion.
Construction of the One Village, One Dam, that has become a hula balloon. And today we've gone around and we've seen at least 6 of them that are still under construction. This project started last year, February, but we had to do survey to even identify the areas that are suitable for the small dams. So as at the February that I mentioned, that was when we started with the survey work till somewhere later, early part of this year, when some of the projects were awarded for constructions to begin. You all saw that some of the projects are ongoing. We are about between 70, 80, maximum 90% completion. When we say 90% completion, the spillway, the embankments, and then the grassing and other ones will sum up to maybe 20, 15% to make up the 100% that we want the project to be completed. So as we are here, we've seen the phase 1 or the first phase of the project. And you saw that some of the areas, there were a lot of water. There was a lot of water in the dam or reservoir. But other areas too we don't have because of the rain pattern. There are areas that the rain is heavily started. Others is yet to start. So you see that there are small or some little water in the basin. So that is what we have brought you here. And we're not saying there are no issues with the maybe the program. Definitely, if you are constructing about 300 for now, we are constructing 560 dams. Initially, we said 570, but we all know Tamale Central cannot have a dam because it's a bigger town. So we've taken the 10 out of it, making it 560. And if you are constructing 560 dams, definitely you have some issues. The issues identified, right? Still, I want to hammer on it that the consultant and the contractors, together with the development authority and the ministry, will sit down and discuss. And then whatever is left, the concerns will be attended to.
Now, Joy News is an estimating reports, even though the people, the residents of the 6 communities visited are excited about the project, the people of Gunu, Denugu, and Megogo want governments to strengthen the embankment of the dam, among others.
The Malafane, Ama Benyanga Mbierane, Toroko Matiti, Dama Bangama de Gassi, to Bangama de Gassima, Dipana Boku left here, the Koma Yatoma Koma Gassia, Diana to young.
Just like he has indicated, he is very sure that it's going to be helpful to them. However, his concern or their concern is that the dam wall is not too large in his estimation. He thinks that if the water accumulates too much, it may overflow the dam. So in his view, he thinks that it may need to be strengthened or even enlarged.
His problem is to raise the wall and to make that bridge that the water will flow off. So that over there, if it flows and come and add this one will break. So that is his complaint. And we have so many community up there. He is begging the government to do that bridge here for the community over there to come so that the children will go to school here.
I'm satisfied because it's not yet completed. And I know by the time they will complete with the whole features of the earth dam, everybody will come to realize that it's something that needed to be done. So I am satisfied for now, even though it's not completed. But I know at the end of it, everything will be completed fully as expected. And the payments, some of them have not even taken their money yet. These contractors who've moved from, the Garu area, they have not taken their money. We didn't give them mobilization. The ministry doesn't give mobilization. You do the work, and then we are satisfied, we raise your certificate, and then we do pay. And we don't even pay at a go, because there are stages. We must make sure that this stage you are, yes, is due for this payment, then we'll do the payment. So the payments are not yet done. Some have not even received the PESWA yet, even though the money is 250,000 Ghana cedi. They have not given them even a PESWA. Yeah, those that we are satisfied with their work, where they have reached, not all. Because we didn't give the contractor, this contractor, we didn't give him money to begin. So maybe all he has on him is what he has done to this stage. So he needs to raise a certificate amounting to work done here. Then he will be paid to come and do the rest. And that is why you see that the work is delaying. Because maybe the money is not there, readily there, available for them to do all the work. So when he does it to a certain stage, he will raise the certificate. There is no certificate to a certain stage. They will pay them, they will get money and come back. So most of them are waiting for their payment to do the rest of the phases.
Now, away from that, some rubber producers in the Western region say they are now skeptical about government's promise to revamp the Bonsa tire factory. This is because there has been no action on the ground since President Akufo-Addo made promises to their chiefs in 2017 and 2018 to get the factory working again. The factory, built by the Nkrumah government, produced high-quality car tires. Joy News' Henry Kwesi Bedu visited the facility and reports it is now serving as a maize plantation and a cocoa warehouse.
Bonsa tires and a Aboso glass factory. Feasibility studies are almost complete. Now rubber a pre-war Western region. Papa. Now we continue to be raw material exporters.
We are almost done with the feasibility studies, and my government will revamp the Bonsa tire factory.
President Akufo-Addo disclosing to the chiefs and people of the Western region that feasibility studies of the Bonsa tire factory was almost complete as part of efforts to revive it 2 years ago. But the people say the story on the ground looks different. A maize plantation and a cocoa warehouse are now part of the once mighty tire processing factory. On both sides of the inner perimeter are huge industrial machines crying for rehabilitation. Names like Okore, Ponko and Karifi are visible on the factory's last production in 1998. A former employee, Joseph Aban, talks about how the collapse of the factory has affected him.
I was employed here in 1984, and all workers were laid off in the year 2000, leaving us with no jobs. When the factory was fully operational, we were paid well, and I took good care of my family. Now, as a security person, my salary is petty and also delayed. Life is not as smooth as it used to be.
In the over 20 years after the shutdown, the town where the tire factory is situated, Bonsaso, has struggled to figure out a way to survive. Amata, who has lived here all her life, recounts conditions before and after the company shut down.
I operated a local eatery for workers at the Bonsa tire factory.
6 o'clock.
My business was booming as most workers ate from my plate. Bonsaso is a ghost town following the collapse of the tire factory. We have always been receiving lip services from successive governments to revamp the factory.
Less than 20 minutes drive from the factory lies a huge rubber plantation, a major raw material for tie production. Visible from the Takrade-Takwa Road are canopies of rubber plantations with black little containers strapped to the trunks of the trees to collect latex. A portion is being processed by the Ghana Rubber Estates for export. Rubber is being cultivated largely across every district in the Western region and some parts of the Eastern and Ashanti regions. Patrick Kojo Oklu is an executive member of the Rubber Outgrowers Association. He wants government to add value to Ghana's rubber.
If the government will save our soul, we can bring in any investor who is ready to add value to the rubber, like what Grill is doing. And secondly, we add other values in a chain, because the value chain can make us produce Wellington boots, gloves that we use in the hospital, and internationally. Look at the demand for condom. We use this very thing for condom. So can our people help some of us to establish those factories so that as the raw material is here, we use it to create jobs for the youth and as well as livelihood enhancement.
With Ghana faced with rising unemployment and sinking cocoa and gold sectors, it appears this is just the time to turn this factory around. At least, there is a government policy, one district, one factory, under which this can be executed. Henry Kwesibedu's report for Joy News.
Now, some child beggars spotted around the Accra Central area have attributed their current predicament on the streets to lack of care from their parents. In the following report, some of these children, as young as 8, tell Joy News intern Sharon Dankwa that they have had to be on the streets because their parents could not fend for them.
Each day, children line the streets covered in dust and a look of sadness as they prepare for a day of gesturing and begging for money. Most people consider the act these children conduct each day as a form of child labor, but children like Mac plainly see it as the only way he'll get back to school.
The reason I'm now standing in this traffic searching for money is because of money. So I need money, small money, to go back to school.
June 12th is established as World Day Against Child Labor by the International Labor Organization in an effort to bring recognition to the issue of child labor and work towards a goal of ending it with this year's slogan, "Children shouldn't work in fields, but on dreams." Child labor is an issue that many see as a one-way argument, but these children feel that ending labor will be the end of their survival and their fight to return to school.
My parents are poor. I am on the streets to raise some money for my family. I wish I could go to school, work hard and cater for my family, especially my mother. But we do not have the financial muscle. That's why we are on the streets.
About 2 million children since 2017 were involved in child labor, and that includes these children here who work because their parents cannot. These children spend the majority of their day working for money that only amounts to roughly 20 cities, enough to feed both them and their family.
We have not getting money, spend money like that. We just need plenty money to go back to school and see some for our parents.
Reporting for Joy News, Sharon Dankwa.
Now, at least 2 residents of the Kenya-Chase area have been forced out of their home to seek refuge elsewhere following threats of death over the rescue of the Canadian kidnapped woman. They say people they believe are aligned with suspects arrested in connection with the incident, hounding them with accusations they had tipped security off. One of them is a 35-year-old trader who says her life and those of her 6 children are in danger. Ohiming Teriam has more.
The 2-bedroom house where the 2 women were rescued continues to attract people. The place, until yesterday, used to be a security zone as police crime scene team got busy picking evidence. Only a few CID officers who led Canadian officials to the scene were present at the time of our visit on Thursday. Two members of the community who provided direction assistance and spoke to journalists say their lives are being threatened by people believed to be connected to the kidnapping. One of them is this 35-year-old trader.
I was at home yesterday when some men asked for directions to where shots were fired in our area. They asked that I lead them to the place in their car since they had difficulty with location. It was then I got to know that that was where the kidnapped Canadian women were kept. When the men asked if I knew the owner of that house, I answered in the negative because I learned the owner had traveled. Unknown to me, the owner of the house is actually someone who lives in my neighborhood. Upon my return to Ebrim, news had spread all over that I am the one who led police to the house to arrest the kidnappers because they saw me on television. But I got to know of the news after the arrest of the men. I have since then become a target. Everyone is attacking me. Initially, I didn't treat it as serious until they started sending threatening messages onto my husband's phone. Once the man who owns the house remains at large, I can't have my peace of mind. Here I am today. I couldn't go hawking because I am afraid for my life. Above all, I cannot stay in my house.
Unlike this trader who has reported the threat on her life to police, the other person is yet to do so. Police at Kenyasi say they are looking into the issue after confirming receipt of such complaint. From Kenyasi, Achiasi for Joy News, Ohiminteria.
And still up ahead in the bulletin, MPs are complaining about what they say is poor security in the House after a 35-year-old man attempted committing suicide. All that and more coming up. Stay with us. Thanks for staying with us. And MPs are complaining about what they say is poor security in the House after a 35-year-old man attempted committing suicide in the House. They are concerned about how people are able to walk into the premises without any checks. Listen to Busa South MP Clement Apak and others.
I was in my office working on some letters, and two gentlemen entered my office. And when I asked them how they got access to my office, they couldn't explain. Mr. Speaker, these are very challenging times, and we need to be much more resolute in asking that our safety be prioritized. And I want to call on leadership to take our security concerns very seriously. It's not sufficient to swipe a card to enter Job 600. We want all the precincts of Parliament to be equally secure. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I remember very well that several caucus meetings, joint caucus meetings, we've tried to appeal to members that, look, there is no way, absolutely no way, that Job 600 car park can contain all the 275 members of Parliament. It's not possible. And for that matter, we have appealed to members that if you don't have a driver, driving in and saying you want to enter your office and come, it's not possible. Where are you going to park? But we all realize that most members, unfortunately, will go and abandon their cars. You cannot even find them, and the whole place became so bad that controlling members became a problem. So we tried adopting this technology such that if you don't have a car, you are not able to access the place.
Now, still on that story, First Deputy Speaker Joe Osei-Owusu says MPs should blame themselves for not abiding by the security details in the House.
Anybody who enters was aided by one member or another. If we breach the rules, if we quarrel with security men who prevent visitors we have not approved, how will the security men be able to assist us? I endure that often. But you trace and the person entered in the name of some other MP, goes to see that MP, and then follows up to my place. All of them will come here. They check with us. If we don't give clearance, they won't come in. So the first security is we ourselves. Every place that has been designated for MPs only, we assist non-MPs to use. We use our cards from our assistants to enter the tenure that is reserved for MPs only. The lists that are reserved for MPs only. We enter with our visitors first, and then others look at them. So while we're asking security people to do, leadership to do that.
Let's go to the phone lines now and join Joseph Opoku Gakpo in the house. Now, Joe, what's happening in the house apart from this?
Right now, the Minister for Roads and Highways is on the floor responding to questions about ongoing major developmental road projects across the country. A while back, we saw a situation of the Deputy Minister for Employment and Labor Relations also responding to questions about how come some staff of the Youth Employment Agency have not been paid for the past 7 months. And he attributes this to accounting-related issues. But a little later in the day, we are expecting that they will conclude conversation on the Road Safety Authority bill, and then possibly, if time allows, begin a conversation on the various amendments to the Vigilantism bill. The main issue, however, has been the sounds you played earlier in relation to the security concerns. And the Kumbungu MP Barak raised it earlier, and MPs are being asked to take their personal security into their own hands so that then there aren't any issues with that.
Thank you very much, Joseph Opoku Gakpo, for that update from Parliament. As and when the other issues come up, we'll go back to Parliament in later bulletins. Do stay with us here on Joy News. Now, before we go, the third edition of the Sci-Tech Fair has officially opened with dozens of exhibitors, largely drawn from basic, junior and senior high schools across the country. I'm referring to the Sci-Tech Fair of the National Science and Maths Quiz. The fair provides the platform where students present their science projects results in the form of a report, display board and models they have invented. The initiative also forms part of Measures by Primetime, producers of the 2019 National Science and Maths Quiz Festival, in offering students the opportunity of putting into practice the theories they were taught in the classroom. My colleague Nancy Emefa Dwadosi is at the fair and joins us on the line. Nancy, has the exhibition begun?
Yes, Daniel, the exhibition began somewhere around 10:35. And that's when it officially opened. This is the third edition, actually. And as you can see behind me, there are dozens and hundreds of students who are gathered here from all Greater Accra. In fact, the exhibitors are scattered across the country. So we have people from the northern region coming around. We have people from the southern, the middle belt, all appearing and coming here to the GCB lecture hall at the University of Ghana. Now, I can say that when we began, there were a number of schools that were representing, with some of them exhibiting some models and reports and robots. In fact, I can say that this particular stand that you see here is the stand of Mamfe Methodist Girls. If you remember, just about 3 to 4 weeks ago, they were crowned winners of RoboFest 2019, and today they are here again to exhibit similar things that got them to win. They have robots here that are arranging the boxes in a binary mode. I just want to get a word from some of them. Can you just come close to me briefly for a moment? What's your name?
My name is Naomi Adam Kumar.
Okay, so congratulations first of all, because we know you won RoboFest.
Yes,
so basically, brief me what this robot is doing. You're live on Joy News, by the way.
Okay, thank you. So you want to know what we're doing? Okay, so this robot is built for us to move and arrange black and white blocks in a 4-bit binary configuration. And binary is a numeric system that deals with 0 and 1. So in this year's task, the one represents the white, and then the 0 represents the black. So in case we're given a number of 5, its binary is 0, 1, 0, 1. So then the arrangements will be black, white. So right now the configuration over here, somebody, one of their people chose the number 8, and the binary was 1, 0, 0, 0. So as you can see here, it is white, black, black, black. Yes, so that's the configuration given. Yes.
So can you just, in a minute, show us something small with the robot moving, for instance? Is it? So, okay. So, Daniel, they are just about to show us how this robot is going to arrange the boxes in a binary mode. We didn't have the opportunity to see this when they went outside to win the Robo Fest, but this is the first time we are actually having them practicing and bringing this to us live here on Joy News. And so she says she's actually going to configure the robot and then make sure that this robot arrange the boxes in a binary mode of black and then white. All right, so let me just get closer to her. Maybe she can be explaining what she's doing.
So I'm just going to run the same configuration 8 for you to see.
So are you pressing the button?
Yes, this I'm actually selecting the program to start because we have 4 slots. We have slot 4, 3, 2, and 1. So the color in which color of blocks in which you want to go, you have to choose that certain slot or program to run. Yes.
All right. So very shortly, she's trying to program. She has to program the robot for it to move. And so in just maybe in a few seconds, she would be able to do this. We just want to see the robots move, and then maybe we can wrap up with her. Okay. All right, so you see there, the robot is moving slowly. It pushes the next one, and then there it goes. It's being able to arrange the box on the first line. So basically, Daniel, this is how they did it. This is how they became champions of the world, configuring the robots. However they did it, I cannot do it. And Daniel, I don't know if you're given the chance to show this, you will be able to.
Pretty amazing stuff there, Mefa. Jadosi is pulling off with these binary robots. Thank you very much to MFA, and kudos once again to the winning team of the Methodist Girls Senior High School in Manfe. Right, before we go for business though, just like a new job or venture, being a first-time father comes with feelings of anxieties and uncertainty for a lot of people. This could be worsened, especially when a man has no clue about what to expect or had no fatherly experience themselves. That was Dr. Akofa Segbefie's situation over 3 decades ago when he was expecting his first child. He later single-handedly raised 6 children after he divorced his wife. My colleague Bernice Abube Dulansa spent some time with the former journalist and lecturer.
You know, I would not condone separation or divorce because I have gone through it. And there are times that I feel like having a female companion around me and all that. But I've come a very long way. What I would rather young men, young fathers have now is that they have a role to play in the upbringing of the children. Money, yes, it's good to have wealth to take care of your children, but you cannot chase wealth to the detriment of your child's upbringing. You know, so let us always have time for the child. You know, when your wife is busy doing something for the home and you are less busy, bond with the children. Leave the computer alone. Once you are home, let the home belong to the family, to you and the children and your spouse. Once you do that, you see, it is the bonding that builds the relationship. You understand that? So you need to discuss the roles. I know there are men who, even if they want to boil eggs, the eggs will burn. You understand that? What is wrong with learning how to cook? I could have been a better father than I have been. So when I hear people say, oh, just like it was all over your newsroom when you wanted to interview a father, everybody said Dr. Sabri. I was like, how come? You understand that? Yes, I wish there were other fathers out there who are examples. Yeah, there is a saying in my language that you see, it is the goat that has strayed, that has got its ear chopped off, that is best advisor to its kids. You understand that? I have been there. with the benefit of hindsight, certain things that I did that might have contributed even to the break in my marriage, you know, if it were happening today, I would just laugh those issues away. You know, but in those days, you had your hot blood, you had, you know, that youth thing, that intolerance and all that kind of thing. So you needed to learn to tolerate. It's you know, it's a give and take, you see. And in every relationship, you know, just give a little of yourself. You'll be surprised what you receive in return.
Truly moving story indeed. It's now time for business, and when Emmanuel Abuajiri comes here, he'll be telling you how the Ghana Association of Savings and Loans Companies is calling on customers of savings and loans companies, to remain calm as the Bank of Ghana undertakes some reforms in the sector.